unhinged, we ignite. Positivity shining bright. Reptiles, exotics all unite. Untamed, unhinged in the night. Big Flex and Chris spreading the vibe. Eric and the mad scientist, David by my side. Untamed, unhinged, talking reptiles all day. Positivity's our topic in every single way. Untamed, unhinged, we ignite. Positivity shining bright. Reptiles, exotics all unite. Untamed, unhinged in the night. Untamed, unhinged, we ignite. Positivity shining bright. Reptiles, exotics all unite. Untamed, unhinged in the night. Big Flex and Chris spreading the vibe. Eric and the mad scientist, David by my side. Untamed, unhinged, talking reptiles all day. Positivity's our topic in every single way. You will talk with the community's voice, spreading love and knowledge, making noise by choice. Reptiles and exotics, we stand strong. Untamed, unhinged, singing our song. Untamed, unhinged, we ignite. Positivity shining bright. Reptiles, exotics all unite. Untamed, unhinged in the night.
Yo, let's go, guys. Happy Hump Day Wednesday it is today, guys. Welcome to Untamed and Unhinged Reptile Podcast. We got my co-host, EA Snakes. It's in the snakes. Eric.
What's going on, chat? How's everybody doing?
And they got me, Big Flex, and of course, Flex Infinites and Reptiles, guys. What's up, everybody? What's up? What's popping? I'm feeling good today, having a great day. Great day. A wonderful day.
That's good.
Right? It is good. So go ahead and tell us about tell us what's going on about US Arc, brother.
Yeah, US Arc. There's they're looking to put the Diamondback terrapin on the federally endangered species act. So if you're involved in Diamondback terrapins, you want to know more about them, definitely check out the article on US Arc. And also if you're not a US Arc member, become a member. And also for US Arc Florida, become a member there as well.
Hell yeah. And we're going to shout out to sponsors. Don't forget, you got Shed Off Feeders, Untamed. Use the code. You get 10% off any merch. Let's shout out to sponsors. And we're back. Bro, I don't like that song, by the way.
Untamed 20, Cold Blooded Cafe.
Yes, sir. Untamed 20. There's a song out there for that too, guys. It's in the podcast channel, Instagram. Go check it out. I made that shit. I love it. And now let's bring our guests out. We got Jimmy from Gekko and Gecko. Let's bring them on out. Bring them on in. Hey, Jimmy, what's up, brother?
Hey, what's up? What's up?
Oh, I was gonna say, Sammy, I'm wearing your shirt, but I don't have your shirt yet. I'm wearing Drop Team.
I'll send you guys a shirt.
Oh, you have shirts, bro? Hell yeah! I'll take a shirt.
I'll send you guys shirts.
I'll wear that shit all the time.
Yeah.
I don't have a Gecko shirt, so that'll work. It'll be my first Gecko shirt, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be mine.
Anyways,
too,
brother.
Yep.
I'm like, go ahead and tell us about yourself, Jimmy. What you work with?
Jimmy, work mostly with tokay geckos. I think that's probably the most unique thing that I have. But I also have quite a number of lychees. So those are my two big concentrations. And then I have a couple of like little things here and there. Like I have some like other geckos. Like I have some day geckos and some chihuahuas. Got some lesser rough-snouted geckos. And then I have some anoles. That's
rougher. You said rougher.
Rough-snouted, rough-snouted geckos. So
what is that?
That is a live-bearing gecko from New Caledonia. So it's like it's from the same like family, I guess, as the lychees and the crested geckos and the chihuahuas and all that. Like they, but they give birth to live young instead.
So they look like lychees, or
they look like more like chihuahuas probably. They have like the long tail, like a prehensile tail. So they're pretty cool geckos. I have like some of Instagram posts.
Man, we got a shit ton of people in the chat right now. We got JS Exotics. We got More Forge. Shout them out real quick. We got More Forge here. Arc Adventures. We got John, Sammy, Greg. What's up, Greg? What's up, everybody? Thank you for being here, guys. Appreciate that. What's up, Benny? Hey, if you want a board with like a Gecko logo on it, hit him up. That guy does some good shit. We got Blaker Python. What's up, guys? Fernando Cruz.
Jimmy, what I really like about your IG, I just saw it today.
Speaking, shout it out, Vinny, because look, Vinny does badass work. So there's
Oh, there you go.
Oh wow, super nice.
Hold up,
yeah,
hold on.
that shit's
I'm
clean.
putting on the table.
Look at that. Hit up Vinny, guys. Hit up Vinny for your custom egg cutting board. Or if you just want a board. I think it looks just tight. I'm gonna hang this shit up. But that's just me.
No, Jimmy, the brown and nose that you have.
All right, Jimmy. So what is
Brown and nose? Yeah, I got some.
Yeah.
I was trying to work with some of the high red anoles, so I got like a couple of pairs. Like they have like 3 pairs set up. Try to get that, you know, when I was seeing, I think Armin, I think Herb Time, I think he was like posting those super red like brown anoles. I was just like, oh, I gotta get some of those. So I got a friend of mine that actually knew somebody down in Florida that caught some. So I got, you know, pairs going. Got some babies, so hopefully the babies grow up to be nice and red like those.
And I gotta put all these geckos up because I'm like trying to figure out what are you talking about.
No, I'm only saying because I live in Florida and we have the brown anoles everywhere. Yeah. And it's super cool to see like someone actually working with them. And
they're pretty cool. They're pretty cool. Like I just leave them in the cage and then they breed, and then the babies come out and parents actually don't, you know, they don't. I thought that they would eat them. So originally I was taking them out of the cage, but actually they actually don't eat them. There's like 5 or 6 babies in it's actually in one of the cages behind here that they're just growing up there, and like the parents can definitely take down like a full grown cricket and stuff like that. But these, you know, these baby anoles are like tiny and they stay around. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, down here we have a lizard we call curly tails, and they're actually like cannibalistic. They'll hunt the brown anoles.
Oh, so. I actually have one of those too, like one random one that my friend caught in Florida too.
Yeah, I want to know why geckos and not like snakes or anything other.
Why not snake? I actually did keep snakes before. When I first started, you know, I kept everything actually. I had snakes, monitors. I bred ball pythons for a couple of years, you know, in the way beginning. Like, you know.
Okay, hold on. So you bred ball pythons for a couple of years. Why did you leave the ball python game? I need to hear this. Why?
I mean, let's say I started in like, maybe I got like ball pythons in like 05, 06. I mean, that was when it was like big, you know, it was really like the height of the market, or when it was like surging. Yeah, but then after a couple of years, it was just like, there was a lot of people doing balls, and in New York it's a lot harder. You know, I don't have like a lot of space. You have to raise your own, you know, getting rodents. I mean, it was just, and then in the end it wasn't, you know, you had a lot of cool snakes, but they were just in racks. So I switched over. I switched over. I kept emeralds for a little bit, and then a couple years ago I fell in love with lychees. And then I started with the tokays. So I started with lychees first, and then I went to tokays afterwards. Actually, I like the big geckos. They were really cool. Like I saw, you know, I mean, I've always seen lychees when I go to reptile show, but like you got one, and then, you know, it's like one of those things. You get one, and you just keep getting more and more, and then you just had to have all of them.
Now, I'm gonna ask this question now. Like, why out of all species tokays?
Well, we were talking about before. It's like the pied. I saw that pied tokay. Somebody was posting pied tokay, and I saw that color. It was just like, that is a cool looking gecko, a large, you know. But pied definitely drew me to it. But after keeping it and breeding them, I actually think they are super cool. Similar to like how their nose I was talking about, these gecko, the tokays specifically, they lay their eggs, the babies hatch, the parents protect the babies. It's like they have this whole family unit going. So in each of my breeding cages that have babies, it's like you'll have the parents and you have babies of different sizes inside the cages, depending on what time of the year. So it's like really cool to see that.
Oh, so they don't eat the babies. That's cool.
Nope, they don't. They protect them. And I found that actually babies that stay with their parents for the first couple of weeks actually do much better in general, grow much bigger also.
That's
Yeah,
super
but
cool.
I'm like, how do you like? What's the care for them? Because I know they're hard to freaking keep.
Not too hard. I mean, tokays are very tolerant of a lot of conditions. I mean, you have to keep them warm because they are a tropical species. Keep it humid but not wet. They actually don't. I mean, dry is better than wet for most species actually. But like it, I keep an ambient around 85 degrees, and then for the breeding pairs, I use UVB lights. So with the lights on, maybe in the daytime it gets up to like 90, 95 at the hot spot. That's about it. And then, feed, crickets, dubias, superworms, hornworms. I mean, they eat a variety of bugs. I mean, for me, I use crickets as the staple. But,
Or your
I don't think
finger.
they're too, or my finger. Try not to get bitten. I try not to get bitten. They can
At
be
least you
tamed, though. They can be tamed.
They can?
They can.
Hold up.
I have one tame one, but I have friends that do tame these geckos down, and then you can handle them like a crested gecko almost.
Brother, I didn't think
Yeah.
turkeys could ever be like tamed because they're so ruthless.
You gotta work
They
with
have
them.
so
You
much
gotta work with them.
aggression.
You gotta work with them.
They're like, don't touch me.
I know. I mean, that's their first line of defense. But if you work with them, they do become tame. Like I mean, I literally have like about 100 of them, and then maybe there's only one that I can go in and touch. Like he doesn't love the handling, but he actually doesn't bite. Like he's not, he tries to move away, but he's not going to bite me. And I
Is it
feel
a
like
pied?
No, it's not a pied, unfortunately.
Damn.
So you gotta. It's a normal. Tokays are also one of those species. Like you can't really hesitate. You gotta go slow. But like if one gets out, it's like I have so many cages here that like, I'll never be able to catch it. I mean, there's actually like one or two running around.
He's like,
the rule.
right now.
There's once they get behind the cage, it's like I can't move everything to try to catch them. I mean, they pick off the runaway crickets, and usually when I find them, they're pretty fat.
Oh, well, that's good.
Yeah.
I mean, as long as they're eating, I guess. And they don't get out of that room?
No,
Like
this room is totally closed,
sealed off?
Like sealed off. Like there's nothing. It's pretty good space actually.
Do those tokays, do they communicate with each other?
They
Right?
do.
That's what I was gonna
They
ask.
make like a noise. I don't know. I'm not
make
gonna
a
do
noise.
it, but
I mean, it's like that. It's like Gecko. I mean, basically, that's
Mhm.
where
Like,
their name
it's
comes
like,
from.
that's
I
what
can only imagine with that
I
many,
mean-
they must do it.
Sit here long enough, you might hear it in the background because the males will call like for the females. Like usually it's the males that are not paired up. They'll do the call.
they're trying to
Okay,
breed.
so it's a mating call then. Okay.
It is like a mating call, yeah. The males are the ones that call. The females usually, they do little chirps in here and there, but like.
But it usually sounds like, uh-oh. That's what it sounds like. They're
Yeah,
saying,
yeah, something. Yeah, that's what it is. Like it's like a 2-syllable type of thing.
uh-oh, uh-oh. That's what it sounds
It's really
like.
cool. I mean, you hear them at nighttime. I mean, depending on some of them are like super loud. So it's like,
So is there anything other than pies?
there are tons of morphs now. There's normal tokay is like a blue gecko with red spots. So now
Okay.
we have reduced pattern or green codominant. That's usually less red spots. You have patternless. So patternless, you can break that up into all the different types of patternless. You have like the blue-headed greens, which is basically no pattern but a blue head with a greenish body. You have olive, which is like an overall like dark green, like a military green color. Then you have like the most desirable form of the patternless, which is the powder blue, which is like a baby blue color. Basically think of it that blue tokay but without the red spots. So that's like what everybody in terms of the patternless.
Are these all different like lineages, or they're all the
They
same
are.
lineage?
They're all for the panelists. That's all different variations of the same morph, basically. So you said the best looking one would be what we call a powder blue, where the whole body is like a bluish color. But they are all compatible with each other. They're simple. It's a simple recessive morph. So if you have two patternless animals, you breed them together, you'll get patternless babies. The green codominant is codominant. So half the babies when you breed them to will be that reduced pattern. Then you have the whole granites and pied complex. So that is so a granite is basically like the regular tokay, but instead of red spots, they have these dark black spots. Some of these granites eventually turn into pieds, where the white markings start coming, and then eventually they kind of lose all of their pattern, and then you have the blotches of white and black, and or white and spots or whatever. So that's like what we call a pied. Actually, and sometimes if it's very extreme, the pied kind of takes over, and then the whole body becomes white. And then you have what looks like a leucistic type animal. But the majority of the animals that we have that look like leucistic are not true leucistic, because they started as basically what happens is it starts as like a normal looking tokay that turns into a granite that might turn into a pied. So it's like it turns over many months or years. Some never turn. So that's the tricky part about the pieds. It's not like, I don't think we've quite figured out like, it's not like it's codominant or it's recessive or sex linked or whatever, because we don't know exactly how. I think there are certain lineages that have been in captivity, because it's not like super rare, because they do show up all the time in the wild in imports. And but I know, like, for example, Denise Whitney, she's been working with that whole line or morph, and her babies, she's gotten a line that's consistently have turned pied. So like, anybody that wants like a captive bred pied, like she would be the person to go to get it. And then you have, let's see, then some of the other morphs. We have platinum, which is a version of a yellow spotted tokay gecko. So instead of the red spots, they have yellow spots. They have a more faded, almost silver blue colorish. The eyes are a little bit more silver. That's where the platinum name comes from. So that's also a simple recessive morph. Then we have the black eye yellow spots. So in the hobby we call those Diablos. And
they're asking if think the pied could be polygenic.
Possibly, it could be linked to different genes. It's like, it's pretty interesting. It's nobody's quite sure. I mean, a lot of people, I think, morph tokays have been around for, 15, 20 years at least now. And nobody's quite figured it out. I think a lot of people kind of give up, especially with the pieds. They breed. You can breed two pieds together, make all these babies, and they're all just normal looking babies. And then a lot of people just give up the whole project. So that's why, like, I don't think very few people have like kind of stayed, the long term to just kind of see it out. You got to raise up the babies. It might be a year or two before they even do anything to start to change, right? Because some of them stay in the granite stage and never turn into the pied. But so that's why it's.
Oh wait, so this has happened. Like they breed the pieds and they just come out either blue or brown.
Yeah, they just come out like regular babies. Like no.
Oh, they don't come out pied babies. That'd be cool.
No, that's the hard part. That's why people give up on the project prematurely. Basically, you gotta kind of have to see it out. Some people have gotten pieds by so it's they breed two pieds together, then they breed the babies together. Like a second generation, the pied comes out. They've done like where they've done a pied back to like a granite, and then they get a pied out of it, but it's still tricky. I say pieds are those things that you get, and it's cool to have in your collection. It's like a showstopper. Everybody stops to look at a pied tokay when I do the reptile shows. Like everybody thinks it's the coolest thing. I mean, and the pieds usually have the eyes change color where they're completely black, so they have that kind of totally black eye, and you have it against like a whitish looking gecko. It almost looks like it's a cute animal. I mean, can't really touch it, but deceptively cute looking. But But going back to
It's such a-
Diablos, Diablos are the black yellow spots. They are pretty cool, and that is a proven morph. It is simple recessive, so that's something that people can get their hands on now. And then we have.
Do you have Diablo?
I do have Diablo. Not the first to produce it here in the U.S. My buddy Logan is the first to do it here in the U.S. But I do have a pair, and there's like I think 3 or 4 babies now. They're really cool. Like they're like dark, very dark, faded looking gecko. Like the spots are also faded looking, even though they're yellow.
You can't show one, right? Because they'll run away.
I know. I would grab one, but like they're just gonna run away, and I'll lose them.
I was like, man, I want to see this.
Check out the Instagram. Like try to post.
I'll look at it right now.
Yeah.
I'll look at it right now.
we don't need to get to it right now.
And then there's Blueberry, which is a newer morph, like Blueberry and Ghosts. That's like a blue gecko, and that with blackish spots. But the key thing is the feet are black, basically, or like a bluish, purplish color. So it's like a paradox type of thing. It looks really cool. You have this blue gecko, and then the feet and the tip of the tail is usually black. And then you have traditional paradox, which is, you have this. It's like a mix. It's not quite a pied, but like it's a mix of like the normal pattern, and then it's like darker blue and then lighter blue. It looks really cool. It's like a calico. It's like not calico, because calico is usually with pied, but I think it looks really cool. Then
I had no idea there were so many different.
Many morphs, and then
morphs,
we're proving more and more of them to be.
Is it just Moors, or is this what do we call it? What's the word for it? Like retics. They got Moors, and then they got
localities.
Localities, yeah. There you go.
Yeah, I think they're all morphs. The majority of these morphs all these are like Indonesian imports, so they are morphs, and people are trying to figure out the genetics of them. Some of them, we have been able to figure out, just as I said, like they follow.
So here's a good question: Can you produce a world first Tokay gecko? Is that even a possibility anymore? Or?
Yeah, you can. I mean, it's still like there's so many. Basically, they've been imported. Not a lot of people have been breeding them or have had a lot of success or invested.
Just bring them in.
So it's still a very kind of new type of thing. And one of the deterrents is they're not inherently like tame. So that's why a lot of people their first defense is to bite. So, the other very popular reptiles are, crested geckos, ball pythons. For the most part, they're very easygoing. You can handle them really easily. To move a tokay, it's like work. You got to put on. If you don't want to get bit, put on some gloves, I guess. Right.
Makes it a little bit more fun, right?
It does make it a little bit more fun. I think it's a little bit more exciting. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that, Will. He says, I think that throughout the years we have bred some of the temperament out of the tokays. I haven't been around them for years.
I think that's totally possible. I think if you had like a tame, the parents are tame, and then the babies are most likely can be. I mean, I'm sure it's going to be similar to like, I think you can breed out aggressive behavior in dogs. So after many generations, I think you can. It's just that right now, I think everybody's chasing with the morphs. I don't mind that they're mean. I just need to trying to produce all these morphs out first, and then I can focus in on like taming them. But as I said before, I think if you really spend the time, you can tame them. You just have to but with like about 200 geckos here in this room, like between feeding and cleaning, it's just I don't have time to really sit down there and I mean, one of the key things to taming down a tokay is to get it to eat off tongs or off out of your hand and something like that. So it has to not be scared of you, and so that is the key thing. But that takes work. You got to sit there and
then you multiply that by 100.
Yeah, exactly.
Bro, me do this with the tokay, and then he bites my damn finger. Like, fuck, come on.
And you have to be willing to be able to take some bites too. That's the thing, right? And the other problem with tokays is it's like they're really it's either they bite or they're gonna run. So if you hesitate, they're either gonna bite you or they're gonna run away from you. Either way, it's like a bad situation. So sometimes you just have to be you have to be quick if you want to catch them.
Do they break the skin, Jimmy, when they bite?
What's up,
Oh, yeah,
Oso?
man.
What's up, Fred?
They bite. They bite.
Carissa?
Oh,
It breaks
yeah.
skin. Yeah, it breaks skin. I'm telling you, like it's some of those big males that can really chomp down, and then it's just you try to shake it off, or
Okay.
you're trying to get them off. Like most of the time, they're just it's like a vice. It's just they crank down on it.
I didn't know they were that powerful.
Yeah.
Wait,
I've
so
never had one.
quick question. Does he have like red, all red?
No, Diablo is a black eye yellow spotted gecko. So
Oh, that is clean.
yeah,
Oh, I found him.
yeah.
Dude, that is amazing.
Yeah, and then there's super red. If you're talking about red, so that's also a morph in the that's probably. And
I
then,
think I like the Diablo more like better than I
Yeah.
like the Pied more. That shit is
Yes.
badass.
Really cool. They have like this kind of like it's not quite hypo, but like they have like this grayish wash to them. And then with those black eyes, it's as a baby there. It's really it can be like. I mean, if a gecko can look cute, that would be the black eyes.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you my top favorite 3 from your geckos, your tokays. You ready? Yeah. Diablo's number 1. Your pies are number 2, especially Oreo. That Oreo looking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then this bright red one.
Oh
Those
yeah,
are my top 3.
The bright red one is the one that I think everybody's like after. Pretty rare, even in terms of like importing. Like it's not something that shows up. It's pretty hard to get even in Indonesia. But that is a
Like-
co-dominant morph, though. That is an actual proven morph. You can reproduce it, so it's not like the pies where it's like, oh, you don't know. But super red is definitely a highly desirable morph.
So who wants to hear a story, guys? Story time.
Yeah. Go on.
Okay, I bought my
Okay.
son. My son saw Tokay geckos, right? And me, of course, coming in, ready coming in. That's what he wanted. I was like, cool, whatever, I'll get them for you. They were only like $25 at the pet
Yeah.
shop, So I was like, cool, is that what you want? He's like, yeah. So I get him one, right? And then we go back and I get him another one. And we put them together and they end up killing each other. And he's like, Dad, my Tokay's dead. And then the Tokay died a little later because we didn't have ambient. I didn't know they needed that ambient. The guy didn't even tell me at the pet shop either. So like he was upstairs in the room that's cold, and now you got like to 68, 62 maybe in the house. Like it was freezing. So I'm like, God, we killed this gecko. That's sad. Now him telling me they need ambient like an 85, like holy shit. Poor gecko.
Yeah, tropical, so they do like it warm. I mean, Eric, you should see. I mean, I don't know if you've ever seen. They're all over Florida apparently too.
But then again, it was my
Yeah,
fault
South
because
Florida.
one, I didn't even research the animal.
Yeah.
I didn't do anything. Like I didn't read up on it. Like it was like, yeah, son, I'm gonna get you this lizard. This is what you want. Dude, one time it got out, and we had to put gloves on to get him from the closet because he started biting.
Yep. Well, now you can get one. There's still. I think there's still.
But $25.
$25, you can get them. It's a great pet. I mean, they're actually an extremely beautiful gecko. Even the normals. I mean, if the conditions are right, they fire up this beautiful. I mean, it's a beautiful. Like some of my prettiest tokays are like just the normals, like a big normal male, light blue color with some bright red spots. It's like, I think it's a very stunning looking gecko by itself.
Bro, you got some like gorgeous stuff, and how you got 18K followers, I see why. But like you're always posting. Do you do reels too, or just posts?
I do reels. I do like a reel every day. I try to post something every day. So I try to.
Man, but that gets tiring, doesn't it?
It does. But like every time I'm here, right? I try to come here every day after work, and then it's like, it's my way of, I guess, like I'm trying to enjoy the geckos, but then like, I'm trying to capture it on my phone. So like I have it saved on my phone.
And do you work with day geckos as well?
I have 2 pairs of the Madagascar giant day geckos. Actually, again, they're Florida captives. They're really cool. I mean, I think they're they eat the same diet as the lychees,
Okay.
I mean, obviously they need it to be a little warmer and they need the UV, but they're always out. I think they're super cool. You know, very cool.
What I like about these uh, invasive species, like in Florida now, that's you can think of it. It's like a locality. Like
Yeah,
now these are South Florida locality. Like
yep. I think
right.
they're. Yeah, I mean, they've been there, for some time now. Um,
Bro, his lichies are freaking phenomenal.
Leeches are really
Okay, so
cool.
how many
Leeches are
lichies you
cool.
got? Because it looks like you have a ton.
I probably have like maybe 60 or 70 leeches. With
60 or
everything.
Wow.
70
Yeah,
lichies?
yeah.
Bro, how big are all of them? Are they adult sized or they're
I
all
have
babies?
I think 15 breeding pairs, and then I have some grow ups, and then some
Okay,
babies.
that being said, how hard is it for you to get rid of the babies? Like do you vend shows or do
I
you
do shows.
sell?
I vend shows. I do the White Plains show here in New York, Long Island. Um, most of sales happen online. Morph Market. I use Morph Market a lot.
That works for you? Okay, that's good.
Things move. Things move. I mean, there are a lot more leeches. They're not as, I guess 6 years ago they were definitely a little harder to get. But I mean, not hard to get. I mean, the prices were just a little higher. I mean,
So
they've been
what is
around.
your most expensive pair of leeches you got right now then?
Well, I think the localities would be where the value is. So I have things like Mount Humboldt, which is like pretty rare locality. They sell for usually like around 3K a baby. So
Yeah, I went to this one show, but they had a baby for 4K.
yeah.
Was that be it, or that was
There could be different ones. They're different
like
ones, right?
GS something or
GTs.
GS?
Yeah, there's all GTs, so they're the large form. So you can have, like, for example, Mel's or melanistic lychees. That's actually a morph too in the lychee. It's a simple recessive. That's basically all black or high black animals. Those, I think, for the GT animals, they're still going for like between 5 and 7K a baby.
Wow.
Yeah.
And people actually buy these things, bro. He ain't even like playing. Like
Yeah,
okay,
no, they do. They
like
do.
South Bay
Yeah.
Reptiles. Josh, he went and bought like
Yeah.
I think he bought like two of them. He bought a pair.
Yeah, dude.
Nice.
I
I
think
mean,
he said he
but
threw out 10 grand, 11
it
grand.
can. Yeah, definitely. I
Easy.
mean, easily. I mean, it's very not unheard of. You go to Morph Market, you can see there's some animals being listed for 10K an animal. But they arrange. You can get a lychee now for like $300. Entry level animal, basically. No specific lineage. Mixed.
But they also
locality.
bite.
They also, well, less likely to bite. Actually, I have to say. I mean, I have some lychees that are pretty mean. Actually,
Like, get out of my
one.
cage.
I have one that's actually meaner than a tokay because he's like literally at the cage door. Like he's like you can walk by. He's pounding at the cage door. Like versus the
damn.
tokay, it's actually they don't bite unless you go try to touch them. So they're not gonna come and chase you. Like this lychee is gonna. You open the door, he's out. He sticks his head out and he's trying to bite. But majority of the lychees actually don't bite. They're actually very easy to handle. They're rather slow moving. Lychees can be kept at room temperature and actually should be kept at room temperature. No ambient, no special heating and all that stuff. So super.
Nice. Do the leeches give live birth?
No, lay eggs. 2 eggs.
Oh,
2 eggs at a time. Usually lay about 6 eggs every year.
Yeah, I was gonna say I thought I saw a log that in one of these cages that had like maybe 8 eggs on it.
You can the tokays can have like 8, they'll lay eggs. Usually the lychees lay the eggs. They don't take care of the baby, so you have to kind of dig through the dirt and whatever. I mean, I use a nest box in each of my breeding cages, so most of my pairs actually lay in the box. So when I know it's usually spring, summertime is when they lay. So I go through the nest box once the weather gets a little warmer, and then I usually most pairs can give me about 6 eggs. Some pairs will push it and give me 8. And maybe I've had one pair that's gone as much as 10 eggs. but usually it's 6 is the number. You can get a little less some years, a little bit more some years, and sometimes they don't produce, unfortunately.
I'm just like, dang.
I saw one picture on your arm or on your Instagram that you had a lychee on your arm, right? And it
Yep.
was the entire length of your forearm.
Yeah.
Was that is
Yeah.
that your biggest one you have?
I have a couple that are really big. I'm trying to I'm sitting next to the cage. I was trying to pull one out for you.
That
guys.
is huge.
Yeah. I mean, some of them are.
All right, guys. So while he's doing that, I want to say, after this podcast, you got Keys and West, and then after that, you got more Forge tonight. Don't forget about that. Go check them out. Go give them a follow. Go like, subscribe. Comment. Love everybody. Share the love. Yeah, Wiz and Keys will be on right after us. I think they're going at 7, if I'm correct. Or are they on right now?
8 Eastern, so it'd be 7 for you.
Okay. So yeah.
So here's a big lychee. So yeah, this one's big, but like he's not like super mean.
Oh, he's so cute. Look at this.
That is cool.
So this is
See, bro, that's
Mount
exactly what I
Humboldt.
want.
Pretty big gecko. But
I think I could have a lychee.
yeah, super easy to take care of. I mean, I think they're cool. And then if you handle them, they some of them tolerate handling really well. Like I take some of the calmer ones to the reptile show. Usually, some of them are just hanging around my shoulder or like hanging like my bag or something like that, and they're just sitting relaxing. And they can sit there for a while. So pretty easy.
Yeah, it's definitely not one of those lizards that just wants to take off and run away immediately.
No. They're a lot easier going, and then once they get used to you, they're pretty.
And what is this
is one of the
magazine, Jimmy?
The Reptiles magazine?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Did you do an article in there?
I did an article on Tokay geckos. Maybe it was last year, I think, with my buddy Josh.
That's
We
cool.
wrote an article together on the different Tokay morphs.
So, like, how did you get to ask to do that article? Did they just ask you, or was it because you had some gorgeous animals, or?
I think I had some gorgeous animals, and he reached out.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know they reached out. That's pretty dope.
Yeah. I think the
Okay.
editor, he's always looking for like cool articles and stuff like that.
I can't write, so I would have somebody write for me. Just talk to you. Like, write it, because I don't know how to write. I'm like a kid. I'm like a third grader trying to write an article, pretty much.
I can get some help.
Hell yeah, what's up, John Morford? Yeah, I just told everybody that you're on tonight, right? At, I want to say 9 or 8.
I think it's 9:30 Eastern. Am
So
I wrong? Am I right?
8 Central. And
I
then
believe it.
Wiss is on right now at 7.
Man, I'm terrible with times. I really am.
So is this your first podcast?
This is my third one, actually, I think.
Who was your first?
Oh, I did it with the Adam at what's his official is it Snake Boy?
Adam from Proper Royals?
No, what's his thing?
Yeah, I was right. It was 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central.
Central America.
Thank you.
He goes by official Snake Boy. Also, he's down in Florida too, actually. Did it with Adam.
I never heard of him.
Yeah, he has a podcast. And then I recently did one with the Gecko Exchange podcast.
Oh, I know Gecko Exchange. They're pretty cool people. I like them.
Yeah.
I actually watched them. They actually did a guest that I brought on too, Melissa from Web Girl or Weep Girl.
Yeah.
She was on Instagram. She works with Cave Geckos.
Oh, yeah. Those are really cool too. I haven't kept them myself, but they look really cool.
I don't know, but I wanted one, but now that I see your tokeys, I kind of want a baby.
You want a baby Tokay, right?
Yeah, or a lychee. Or your lychee, like that one right there. Does that one have babies right there in your hand?
Yeah, it does. These are the Humboldts. This is my
Baby, that's the 4,000 baby, right?
They were a little bit more affordable, like $3K.
I'm like 4,000. He said 3K. Like, nope. I would go just get me a 300 baby. We'll see what's up.
They're cool too, though. It's the same thing. It's like, I think of it like, it's like It's really like the dogs, right? Like the dog game. It's just like, you get a lovely German Shepherd at a animal shelter, and you get like an award-winning German Shepherd from Germany, right? That can cost thousands of dollars. Also, they both make good pets.
Yeah.
It's just it depends on what you want to do with them.
I got a really good question. I don't know
Yeah.
if this is controversial or not, but I'm not trying to be. But like with the ball python, like the market and everything, do you think you gotta have a good time since it's now dropping, or
With
I
the
mean it may
balls?
pick back up? I don't know.
I have no
Yeah,
idea.
for ball
But
pythons. Sorry, ball
I
python.
mean, ball pythons. Like I mean, I go through. I'm going to the shows or vending. I'm just like, there are a lot of ball pythons. I mean, just like there's a lot of crested geckos too. So like some of these things, I just there's a lot. I mean, unless you have like a huge name and you work your, it's just
Yeah, you
it's
don't see
tough.
many lychees or.
I mean, there's more now. There's more. Although, like like I think the people that go to reptile shows now are a little different. There's a lot more people that are going that are like beginners. I think they're like totally new. Like, I mean, a lot of the times I'm just explaining, like they don't even know what a gecko is. So, like I'm just telling them, like they've never seen anything like that. So that's not the person that's going to go spend a couple of $100 on an animal because they just learned what it is. So, but I think give it some time. Eventually, they fall in love, they get into the hobby, and then eventually, it all starts. I mean, everybody has a similar trajectory, right? You can start with like something really simple, like a crested gecko, or even like a tokay gecko, and then you work your way up from a normal tokay to like the morphs. From a crested gecko, you work your way up to the lychees. I mean, that's how it usually goes.
Man, so did you always like just work with reptiles, or like
Yeah,
did you have, or
I mean,
like since you were a kid?
since I was a kid, I loved animals. Always loved reptiles. I didn't really get serious with keeping reptiles until I was like in college. It was just a little, I mean, then I had a job and everything, so I had more money and everything like that. But and then I've kept everything also, like I've kept fish. I still have some fish, birds, stuff like that. Like true, like I love animals. But in terms of what I'm working with the most, it's going to be reptiles.
And do you have gargoyles too? Because you said I see you have some gargoyles.
I used to have gargoyles. I don't have any gargoyles right now. I have 2 pairs of chewies. I have some crested geckos. My buddy gave to me, but it's as I said before, I like it. I like the bigger things.
Really cool. Well said. I want a big gecko. No, I'm not gonna lie, because the lychees are pretty cool.
They are. I recommend them to everybody. And you can't find something that's easier to take care of either.
It's like a baby.
Yeah, they live forever. They live in the same conditions that you like, right? Basically, I always say if you're comfortable, they'll be comfortable. They don't like it too hot. They don't like it too cold. They don't need special lights, and they eat a prepared food, so you don't have to feed bugs. Actually, most of my leeches don't even eat bugs. So,
wait, what do you feed them then?
It's like I use Pangea, but like it's just this powdered like crested gecko diet.
Oh, okay.
And
they eat that?
They slurp it up. Feed that every 2-3 days, maybe 2 to 3 times a week. That's it.
Then they shit all over the cage, right?
They do though, I have to say. So the difference between crested geckos and lychees and the other geckos is that lychees are notorious for just pooping on the sides of the cages. Like, it's just what happens. You can spend hours cleaning every cage, and then in 2 days, just poop smattered all over the place. It looks like you never did or anything. So they do.
Do you keep your? I'm sorry. Do you keep your adults in like PVC enclosures or tubs, or what do you got?
I do. I have PVC enclosures. I use PM herp cages for most of my lychees. They're similar to the ones. These are 24-inch by 24. But then it's a little short. These are like I think 18 high, but these are divided into like 12-inch, 12 by 24 by I think 18 high. But the adult pairs I do 24 by 24 by 18 for like the pair. And babies I do keep in tubs. And they actually do better in tubs. Like for baby lychees, don't keep them in like a big enclosure. Like don't put them in your display exoterra like until they're like. I mean, I wouldn't do that until they're like full grown, really.
So like a little tub.
Yeah, like literally like here, like I have like I do one of these tubs.
Oh, that's okay. That's it. Okay.
Yeah, and then and then just baby lychee, little piece.
That
of
was a
pork.
baby. That thing was tiny.
That thing is
Look at that thing. And then it turns into that big thing.
Yes.
Right.
Yep. This
What's up,
will
Santi?
be. This will be something like this. Yeah, this will get to a similar size as baby.
And y'all gotta go check out Jimmy's page. Go check out his page. Check out his geckos. This guy has some fire.
Super cool stuff.
I mean, I was keeping like some other snakes for a little bit,
Yeah, I see the snake.
pythons for a little bit. I mean, they were cool, but they were also like just big, mean snakes for the most part.
I saw one. You had a post on your Instagram. You had some green tree pythons.
Yeah.
You had an Aru in that post that was banging.
Yeah, I still have some arboreal snakes at my parents' house. So not here, but I do have like some green trees. I have some
So
emeralds.
James B.
So they do. I do love them. I mean, that's like if I could have like a whole room filled with that would be great. They display really well. I mean, I love. I've kept the Amazon basin emeralds before, so I love that green and that white look. So like the Aru with the high white is definitely like up my alley. I love that.
Yeah, that's definitely my favorite locality.
Yeah.
So I just noticed that one, and I was like, I had to make when I make the stank face, that means I really like it.
Hey, I like that white lip python you had there.
Oh yeah, the black white lips.
Yeah,
I still have a couple of those too. They're cool.
Like-
I mean, they're
like a
they're
baby
nice.
you can sell.
I don't have. I've never bred them. So these are. I've imported them when I've imported my tokays. So I got them, just for the heck of it. They were pretty cool. They're less. I don't know if you have an experience with the white lips. I've kept both the gold ones, the northerns, and the southerns. I have the southerns now. I sold all my northerns. They're really fantastic, gorgeous snakes. Both species. But for the most part, the northerns tend to be very irritable. They're, they tend to strike a lot, versus my black white lips tend to be much calmer. They're definitely, once established, they're definitely very food aggressive. Or like they're very food motivated, but like for them, they're not like aggressive. Like I have like an 8-foot animal that I'm not like afraid to touch and pull out and stuff like that. So, really cool species too.
They are. I like them. It's like one of my top species. Like one of my my next dream species. Because I keep getting my dream species. Like once I get them, I have another one.
Oh yeah. I mean, we all do that. We all do that. I think it's just part of it. Yeah.
I just shouted y'all out with. I told everybody that after this show to go catch your podcast, which y'all going right after us at 7:00. And then we got more Forge at 8:00. So just letting y'all know, go show some love to Wiz and Keys.
Yes, sir.
Please.
Jimmy, the tokays, do you feed them insects or do you feed them the same?
No, they are strictly bug eaters. So it's a variety of. It's mostly crickets, but some of them they will eat superworms, and some of them will eat dubias. So those are like the best ones. They eat like superworms and dubias. They actually put on weight a lot better. Like crickets, I mean, crickets work really well for the babies though, because nothing beats like that really high energy. That I think that movement definitely stimulates the babies to go eat and chase them. But it's mostly crickets and superworms is the two main bugs I use, and sometimes I'll put in some dubia, pick up some hornworms. They'll do that. But yeah, it's mostly it's definitely just bugs.
You buy your own bugs, or
I have to buy.
I
mean, I have a small dubia colony. I'm not like great with it. So I order like literally. I'm going through like 4,000 crickets every week.
Hey,
yeah,
every week.
Every week.
Damn, how much you paying for that?
It's like $75 maybe with shipping and everything. I think.
Man, that's not bad. I mean,
it's not horrible.
I thought it was like maybe $300, but
No, no, no. It's
$75
like I think it's like $15 or $16 for like
or
1,000, and then with shipping and everything. Like there's a company like that's out in Pennsylvania, 5 Points, and I get it from them, and then I think it's like 70 or $75 each order or something like that.
That's definitely not that bad if you guys have a large amount of animals to feed.
Yes. I wish they would all eat dubia. That'd be great, but I also am not great at raising this colony either. I've had it going for like 6 years, and I mean, I think everybody's like, I don't know. Everybody says it's so easy, but like I've not had that same success.
Bro, they say mealworms is easy. I can't.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I don't know how they do that. I don't have time for that. I don't have patience.
Yeah,
for
exactly.
mealworms.
Easier to just buy.
Like,
Easier to just buy.
just like, can they just eat them already? God.
So,
But I don't know. I'm not gonna buy it. I'm not gonna go and go load them, take the carrots, load them up.
yeah, you got to give them some vegetables, gut load them, and then everyone's
The
alternate.
powder. And all
Yeah,
that
the
stuff.
dust them to make sure that they get the vitamins. But
It's just so much work. So much work.
it is work. Lizards are definitely more work. I mean, snakes are a lot easier for the most part. That's why initially I was keeping a lot
Because you have to feed them like every other day, right?
in 2-3 days. You can do like 3 days. Twice a week. It's not like every day. It's not hard. It's not horrible, but like I guess when you have the amount of geckos, it becomes hard because it's mostly, it's one person. It's a lot for one person, I guess.
Because I have a really, really important question.
Yeah.
So like when you breed your tokies, you ever get like deformed babies?
I've had babies. I actually had one like the other day. I found one that was hatched. It was out on a branch, but for some reason it was just dead. So like it couldn't even have it didn't even shed. Like so when they hatch, they kind of like go into a shed almost right away. But it came out of the egg, but then it didn't make it. So
Damn.
yeah, it happens.
Sad.
It does happen. But I haven't seen any like deformities. I mean, I guess some babies just hatch out a little weaker than others. But it's when you have so many animals, it's just bound to happen.
Well, yeah. A lot of people are starting to post that now. Like,
yeah,
you go on Instagram, there a lot of people are posting like the deformities or the baby dying the egg, or they'll feed it off to their king cobra. Like, holy shit!
Yep.
But
I mean, I got some African bullfrogs that are my kind of garbage disposals.
Are those big frogs?
Yeah, the pixie frogs, the big green ones, and
oh my goodness, those things are huge.
Yeah, so I give them
And where do you keep those guys? Outside?
No, in the gecko room. They like it warm too, so like they're in the other end of the room.
I'm like, damn, where do you keep those guys? Those things are huge.
They're huge.
So
I have a huge one that's dinner plate.
What's been the most exciting part of your journey dealing with these geckos? Or with all the species of reptiles you've worked with, what's been the most exciting part of your journey?
Definitely being able to get some of the morphs proven here in the U.S. For the tokays, by far. Like 2 weeks ago, I hatched out first blueberries, the blue paradoxers, the blue with the black feet. It was like first time here in the U.S. So I think that's for me, that was pretty exciting. It's just like, because, as I said before, a lot of people that breeding tokays is not necessarily like super hard. You get a compatible pair, conditions are right. Most of the time you'll get eggs, you'll get babies, and you just leave the eggs in the enclosure. I mean, if the conditions are right, the eggs will hatch in like 3 to 6 months, right? They just hatch, and the parents, as I said, protect the babies and all that, so you don't have to do anything. But getting the morphs is the hard part. I mean, as I said before, you don't know how many times people are breeding things together. They look, phenotypically, they look, they're showing like these traits. They look really, have all these different patterns and colors or whatever. You breed them, you get these normal babies. And that's where like a lot of people give up. So it's still bummer. Like sometimes like I have 2 pairs, or I got 2 pairs of what, was sold to me as, these blueberries. One pair, laid eggs. babies hatch, I was like, I checked every, once these eggs, I saw eggs. Oh, I'm checking every day. When does it hatch? When does it hatch? And as soon as you see like, oh, an egg is missing, right? Then you know when it's hatched, and you have to look through the cage. And then sometimes it's like a bummer. You find out it's like, oh, you find the baby, and it's like, oh, it's a normal looking baby. So then something is, that pair is not exactly what I thought they were. But then I have another pair, the other pair of blue paradox, 2 babies hatched, and both babies are blue paradox babies. It's what I expected. So like, that's cool. So
Dude, that's awesome. Congrats.
yeah, thank you. So
That's
I'm on to some other things. I'm still waiting. Like, I want to establish the super reds and get them kind of going. I mean, I know that, that male that I have, that super red one that I post, he is like a proven breeder. He is proven, like, he's able to pass it on to the next generation. So I have one baby from last year. So he's like a, like a juvenile, and that it is also a super red. So I know that it is possible. And so I'm just trying to get more of those up and going and get that really established. And then I'm also like really excited about trying to actually produce some albinos. So that's one. That's also, like, we've had T positive albinos here in the States. I think different people have had established their own lines of the caramel or T positive albinos. So
in Tokays?
Tokays.
I was about to ask, has there been an albino Tokay? Because there has been.
There has been. Not so the T plus definitely has been proven. There's at least 2 or 3 lines out there that have been proven. Adults and babies and other stuff like that. T minus, the classic amelanistic. I don't know if anybody actually has really produced them.
Okay, I see what you're talking about. The caramel TL minus.
Yeah, like the caramel, it's like a little darker. It's cool looking. I mean, it's like a more, but the T minus, it's when you have like that really, so it's like a much more high.
Bro, that shit is fire. It's an all white Tokay. Looks like it has little flames all over its body.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, T minus would it would look like like a whitish body with like, and the red really pops.
Dude, it's sick.
Yeah, I mean, the hard part, it's really hard to see it as an adult, because the other hard part about Tokays is, depending on their mood, they actually they look different. They fire up different colors. A lot of Tokays, when they're stressed, they all look black.
I'm like, if you ever breed these, I want one.
Yeah. I'm trying. I got eggs cooking. I got a pair of the male is what I would call a T minus, but the female, unfortunately, I don't know. Doesn't look quite the same as he does. So I'm not anticipating that the babies will come out being albino. They'll most likely be double hets. So that's like a long-term project. I do have a pair of T positives. I do have eggs cooking from them, and those 2 actually do look very similar. So I am very hopeful that will actually give me my own, I would be able to produce my own T positive, my own line of T positives.
Bro, this is exciting, bro.
The other thing that was really, should mention is the hard part is, especially like albino is a good example. Like there's so many animals that would come in classified as albino, right? They reduced or no black basically, but a lot of times they're not compatible. I mean, go back to ball pythons, right? Now we know that all these different versions of albino, right? The lavender is not compatible with the traditional, the original albino, and I guess I would even call like the banana a type of albino. That's a codominant version, and then you have, I guess, what is it, candy? I don't even know what the more are anymore. But like, those are all different lines of albino that phenotypically have some similarities. But if you were to breed those 2 together, not knowing they're different, you're just going to get double hets or whatever if it's a simple recessive. So I think that's the same thing with the Tokays. There are a lot of morphs that look like they're the same morph on the outside, but they are actually 2 different, two different, they're like a different gene, basically.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying completely.
Yeah.
We might think like, oh, they're the same, but they're just could be some slight genetic differences.
Correct,
that,
right?
Means they're not.
Yep.
What's
Like
up,
in
Junior? Hell yeah.
the boa world, same thing, right? You have the different lines of albino surveyor.
Hey,
Sharp
Jimmy,
lines,
you said
color
you're
lines.
in New York, right?
Yeah.
Hey, Junior's in New York, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, y'all should link
Yeah.
up. That's
Yeah.
Epic Reptiles. That's my boy Junior. Like, y'all should meet up. He's cool as fuck. Good people.
Yeah, we should definitely meet up.
He also does reptile merch. Like, you should check out his merch. Legit.
Yeah, yeah. Definitely will.
Like, it's freaking dope. Like, and he'll do, like, if you want like a shirt, he'll do it.
Reptile Junior.
Yeah, that's Junior. Junior, appreciate you being here. Thank you for the shout out, brother.
Yeah, Junior is super cool. Jimmy, have
That's it.
you gotten anything cool out of Florida? Like anything
Red.
weird or
No, I mean, except for the red anoles, I got those. Other than that, I've gotten like the day geckos. Got a huge man. My friend sent me a huge veiled chameleon ones. That was pretty cool. I got some
Veiled.
curly tails. When I was down there, I was actually in Miami over the summer. I mean, like I saw those red-headed agamas like everywhere. I mean, they're really cool though. I'm just saying, you see this little black lizard with a bright red head is just bolting across. So that was really cool. I saw a whole bunch of iguanas, green iguanas.
oh yeah.
And I saw like what looked like. I mean, I think it was a spiny tail iguana, but like from afar, it looked like a rhino iguana or something like that.
Oh, it was. It was.
So that was really cool. I thought they were really cool. I was even in the zoo. I was at the Miami Zoo, and even in like, I know that part of the exhibit, like in the giraffe exhibit, I see the giraffes are going through, and then I see like these huge male green iguanas just walking through.
They found their spot.
I know, right? They did find their spot. I didn't get to go to the Everglades. I didn't get to go like actual herping. Like this is just walking through like downtown and all that.
Oh,
stuff.
I understand. I understand completely.
So tons of anoles and stuff like that, and I think it's so cool. I mean, I know they're all invasive and it's unfortunate, but next time I go there, I'm gonna go like and try to actually go out.
Where my parents live, we have a lot of the night anoles.
Oh,
I believe they're Cuban night anoles.
yes.
The longer
The big
ones.
Yeah, those are so cool. I
Hey,
actually
he has some of those on his page that are pretty gorgeous.
Yeah, I have. They're actually at my parents' house right now, but I have like the large anoles. I have the Blue Beauty anoles. I have a pair of those, and then I have Western Giant anoles. I think Anolis lutigularis. So I have those as well. So those are really cool, gorgeous animals. I find them, very flighty. Very nervous species, but definitely super, super pretty.
Yeah, for sure.
I think
What's
those
weird?
are the coolest or what is it? Lizard or gecko?
Lizard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the coolest lizard because the way they post the memes about them geckos, them lizards are pretty funny and they're awesome. I just think they're awesome.
Very widespread species found all over, basically in North and South America. So super. I mean, there's so many different species. There was some documentary on YouTube. Like I think it's the Smithsonian National Geographic. Like it's like a series of short videos that it was really cool. It goes through like kind of like the natural history of animals.
I'm sorry, Eric. Go ahead. I'm sorry to cut you off, brother.
No.
No, I was just gonna say we had a night anole at my parents' house down in South Florida. When they changed the windows, there was a night anole outside, and he was doing the whole neck thing to my dog.
Yep.
The display thing.
Yep.
And I was like,
so cool.
but he was doing it to my dog.
Oh
And
yeah.
I was just like, I didn't get it, but it was super cool to see.
The little red ones, the little brown anoles, they do it. And even the regular brown ones, their dewlap is like this. The males have that bright red.
That's what it's called, dewlap. I forgot the word.
Yeah. So all anoles have dewlaps, basically. I think that's one of the characteristics.
Okay. All males, right?
All the males have the big dewlaps. Females have like a little like flap, and they all have the sticky feet, also like the geckos do.
Gotcha.
So they're very cool.
All right. I think everybody's dropping because we're We're at that hour mark. I got 2 questions for you, Jimmy.
Yeah,
I want to know if you would like to do a part 2,
of course.
and what did you think of the podcast so far?
I think it's amazing. Look, I love talking about geckos. I can talk about geckos, reptiles. As long as, I mean, it's my
And then
passion.
I was like, and then my last question is, if you could change one thing in the hobby, what would it be and why, or industry?
I think
Because you've been around for a minute, so
I've been around for a while, and I've seen. I think everybody, and I'm guilty of it myself. I think everybody's kind of like chasing, like, I guess what's the next newest morph and stuff like that. But there's also some appreciation for really working on a species that's not as mainstream. Like the lychees, I think, were kind of already established for me. I think like I was trying to do something like a little different. Not that tokays were super rare, but like I wanted to just work with some different species because I think, going to a reptile show, I do see a lot of ball pythons. I see a lot of crested geckos. I mean, they're great animals. They're great beginner species, but like I think there's like a lack of variety of species kept. And then some species are literally just being kept by 1 or 2 people in the hobby, at least in the U.S. So that if he or she decides to not work with that species anymore, then it's kind of like, oh, it's going to be gone from the hobby. And you never know what's going to happen, with legislation and stuff like that. We talk about like before we're talking about the Diamondbacks. Could be successful at it, but like if they change legislation around it, you're not going to have access to certain things. So I think it's keep an open mind and look at different species and the beauty of different species, not just the super popular ones.
facts.
Yeah,
Big
I
facts
agree.
right there.
Mhm.
All right, Eric, go ahead.
Jimmy, can you give me a problem or a situation that you ran into with your reptiles or where you keep them, anything that you weren't foreseeing, and how'd you overcome it?
One issue that I was having with the tokays when I first started breeding them was the females all ended up dying. I kept losing females, and I couldn't figure it out. At first I thought it was because I deal mostly with wild caught stuff, so I was just like, oh, okay. I've been told, like, by my friends and other people that have done this before, the females tend to they're going to be drained or they're going to crash really easily. Even though you might think they're nice, big, and healthy and fat and all that stuff. Some of them came into the country so skinny, like, and then they're, even though you build them back up, whatever had happened, the damage already happened. Whatever. I was losing a lot of females. At first, I thought it was that, but then I was also having trouble with losing captive bred females too. So I knew that wasn't necessarily the case, and then I figured out, or I tried. It was like experimenting. I did have one pair. So in some of my cages, like they're stacked above. So like the top row is where I keep the animals that have to have UV. So because I could put the UV light on the top.
Okay.
The lower ones, I just do like strip lighting or no regular lighting because I was under the impression that with the leeches they don't need any special lighting. They don't actually need the lighting. I've had lights on. I've had no lights on. It really didn't make a difference for me. But I found that the pair that I guess that 2 years ago or last year, maybe it was 2 years ago, I had one pair of tokays in one of the cages that had UVB, and I realized that the female was like, oh, she was cranking out a lot of eggs, but she wasn't crashing, and she looked decent shape and everything. And then I realized I think they need, there's always this debate whether they need UV or not. So I've been all my breeding pairs that have I put UV on them, and since doing that, I'll have to say I have like it's not common to lose. I haven't had any females crash or die on me, and it's been like over a year. So like that's like things happen. I mean, animals do die when you have so many, but like I literally like it was almost like surefire. Like, oh, these females, like it's breeding. They'll lay a couple of eggs, and then if you leave them too long, then they just start dying off. They crash. They start having seizures. Then they get super skinny. It's like the calcium draining. So I found that the UV definitely helps. So I have the UV light on top of all my tokays, so they get a couple of hours of exposure. I haven't actually seen them bask, but I think just having access to a little bit of UV is makes the world of difference.
It's key.
So
It's probably helping their calcium.
correct. Yeah.
If
They say
if they're releasing
better
so many through
calcium,
the egg, you know.
Yep. I think it's definitely calcium. Like I think they need the UV to help metabolize the calcium and the D3. I mean, I'm not quite sure how, not a super expert on this, but I know that certain lizards, we know that, you're keeping chameleons, the anoles and all that stuff, the daytime lizards, you always provide them UV, right? But like with the geckos, a lot of times most geckos are nocturnal besides the day geckos. So a lot of people don't provide UV, right? Like, and most of the people that are keeping the New Caledonia stuff, like the crested scarks, chewies, and leeches, don't really do the UV.
So what do you think of using what do they do? They put them outside.
Yeah, I mean, if
Like
you can't
crested
keep them
geckos?
out, well, yeah, I think that crested geckos might not do too well because crested geckos don't like it too hot. So
You would think, right? You would think that, but
yeah,
they're
I
actually
guess
really
if you
thriving.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
I don't know
I mean,
if you know him. His name's Yoshi from Modern Reptiles. That he keeps his.
oh.
I think he said Cressy's outside, right?
Where does he live? I mean, I guess if you
Florida.
live
Yeah,
oh, really?
I know. Yoshi keeps blue tongues. I don't know about blue tongues
thought
and
he
day
said-
geckos. I'm not sure about cresteds though.
Yeah.
He did. He said Crested. They're all outside.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think I'm right. I may be wrong. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I thought he said he was keeping them outside in
Yeah, I
natural
agree.
light.
If you can keep stuff outside, it's definitely beneficial.
Correct. 100%. I mean,
But
that's
then
the
you
benefit of
also have
living in
to-
Florida. You live in
Yeah,
Florida.
but then you also have to worry about everything breaking the cages and getting
That's true.
in.
That's true. You have like a
Mm.
raccoon that's gonna go.
But UVA and be indoors.
Yeah.
I guess. I mean, I don't know. That's why we're learning about tokays right now because we don't nothing about them. Well, I definitely don't.
I use the UVB lights for them inside because it's impossible for me to keep them outside. It just doesn't stay warm long enough. I mean, I guess for the summer you could keep them outside technically, but then it's just too much work to move them from cage to cage. It's easier just they do well. I have one side of my room that stays warm, and then one side that stays cool. I do try to keep the New Caledonia stuff cooler. But they do come from New Caledonia, which is a pretty. I mean, I don't think it's I think it's considered a tropical climate too. They have the beach and I mean, So.
Man, dude, I'm excited
You
for
would know
part
better
two,
than
bro.
me.
I know. I mean, I wish one day I'll make it to New Caledonia and see what it's really like. But I'm from. Actually, I was listening on the Gecko Exchange podcast. I think they had a guest that that has been to New Caledonia. And they collected temperatures, and it does get up. In the daytime, it does get pretty warm, like any other tropical place. So theoretically, you should be able to keep them. But I guess in the hobby, we tend to keep all the New Cal stuff a little cooler.
I mean, I guess we'll. I mean, I don't know.
Yep, I definitely use the UVB lights.
Okay, well then there we go. He would.
It can't hurt, right?
I mean,
It definitely
you're
helped
doing
me.
it right.
It definitely
I'm
helped
like, you're
me.
doing it right now anyway. So
Yeah, it definitely helped me. So it's been, I've been able to breed, and I haven't really lost any females. That was a key. It was sad. I was going through especially you're paying a lot of money for these morph females, and then it's after you don't get anything out of them, and then they drop dead after
damn, that sucks, man.
it does happen.
I don't know.
I bet that hurts. So.
I guess if you keep tokays and normally you don't need UAV. It's a good point of knowledge to know that if you're going to be breeding, then you should probably use UVB.
That's basically how I'm doing it right now. Like my lone males, the lone animals that are not paired up, I actually don't. So far, it's been good. I don't use any special lights on them. But once I pair them up for breeding, they all have access to UV. So that's how I've been doing it.
Yeah, that's definitely useful.
Yeah, they're all kept warm, but the actual access to the UV. I mean, if I can, I would switch everything to have access to UV because I think the little bit of access does make a huge difference. I mean, as I said before, I think it definitely plays a role in the females, in their health, overall health.
All right, Chris, you seen the leechy on the shoulder? It hasn't moved in.
Right?
Yeah,
Pretty
dude,
calm.
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I need one. Look at that. He'd be right here, bro. He'd be chilling.
It's a little
Come on.
squirmy at the very beginning, but once they get used to it, they calm down.
Yeah,
Literally,
see,
like
Jim,
sometimes I'm like at the reptile show. I'm just how
everybody. What's missing right now? The lychee. I'm missing the lychee.
You're missing a lychee.
You're looking like what? Eric. Oh man. All right, guys. I appreciate you, Jimmy, for coming on here. Oh, before we get on out here, bro, go ahead and drop yourself, plug yourself, so where people can find you. You know, wherever.
I'm on Instagram. I guess that's where I'm the most active. It's Gekko and Gecko, right? GEKKO and then underscore and then underscore GECKO. You can find me on Facebook too. You can find me with my name or under the Gekko and Gecko name as well. So those are two of where I'm. And also, I'm on Morph Market too. So hit me up. You know, any questions? Want to know about anything? Just hit me up. I'll answer.
Oh yeah, go give him a follow, like it, shit.
Yeah.
You know, share it. You know. Go show him love. Just go show him love, guys. And before we get out of here, Jimmy, you gotta say a positive message for everybody watching.
I hope everybody has a lot of success with whatever projects they're working with. I think being able to work with animals is truly a wonderful thing, and I'm always trying to promote that. So I wish everybody a lot of success with whatever projects they're on.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Yeah. And don't forget to always be kind. Be kind. Be nice.
Yes. Be a good person.
Be a good person. Yes. Yes. All right, guys. We're gonna get on out of here. Y'all already know what time it is. Y'all head over to Keys and Wiss and Keys, the channel. But on that note, guys, we love you guys. Make sure you check on your loved ones. Pick up others. Never put them down. Lift each other up. We love you guys. Y'all have a good night. Peace. We're out of here.
Thank you. Have a good night, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Jimmy. Thank you, Jimmy, again for taking time out of your day. I appreciate you for being here.
Great to meet you, Jimmy.
Nice meeting you. Nice talking to you guys.
Yeah, have a good night, guys.
Bye-bye.
Peace.